Well, it's about as good of news as I can get, minus the war being over and Vicksburg actually being captured. Grant's got Vicksburg surrounded. We got a siege on our hands. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. And Johnny, last week was a good week. This week is more good news. We got, this is the war's Christmas. I said it the last two Christmases, but this Christmas, the war's gonna be over.
Christmas is...
Probably before. Probably Thanksgiving.
Okay, or like maybe, I don't know, Halloween or...
July 4th?
4th of July weekend.
Maybe, yeah. Hey, we'll end this war on 4th of July, 1863. Mark my words, war's going to be over this year because it's nothing but good news this week. It's going to open up on the 15th with Grant converging on Edwards Station just east of Vicksburg. Meanwhile, Sherman is in Jackson, ensuring that the enemy has no usable supplies there. And the day is going to end, Johnny, with both Confederate and Union armies just being 4 miles apart from each other. Pemberton is going to realize that he is unable to rejoin Johnston, despite Johnston ordering him to do so, and he's going to attempt to disrupt Grant's communication lines instead of attempting to get back with Johnson. So that's probably going to go over well for him, I imagine, in the whole chain of command structuring thing. On the 16th, Grant is going to drive a wedge further between the two Confederate armies of Pemberton and Johnston. Pemberton is now just... going to get his second directive, his second direct order that says, you will rejoin me. So he goes, all right, fine. I guess I'll try to move and rejoin you, where he promptly meets a large Union force at Champion's Hill. And the 1st Division of McClernand's troops are going to attack Pemberton around noon, successfully driving him off that hill. However, a swift counterattack is going to drive McClernand's forces off the hill. And then a swift counterattack is going to drive Pemberton's forces back off that hill. So, in the course of a few hours, that hill changes hands 3 times.
And then did McClernand's troops just abandon
the
hill
he keeps
afterwards?
It. No, he keeps it, yeah. After the second... Yeah, after the second one, they keep it. Yeah, this was swift counterattack. Yep. Back and forth battle here, but Union prevails. Pemberton is forced to fall back towards Vicksburg. Again, leaving Johnston up to his own. He cannot get over to Edwards Station. He's now going to have to retreat back to the security of the city of Vicksburg itself. This battle is going to cost Union 410 killed, 1,844 wounded, and 187 missing, versus Confederates reported 381 killed, 1,800-ish wounded, and 1,700-ish missing, because we're the Confederates, and we don't report numbers the right way.
Yeah, probably a lot of the missing is like... They're deserters at this point, right? Like
they're either deserters or captured. I mean, it's one of the two. You either said, "Screw this, I'm going home," or you got captured.
Yeah, I'm saying the Confederates at this point.
Probably deserting, probably a lot more deserting than captured. Yeah. On the 17th, we're going to see Pemberton's back against the Big Black River as he lost a division during that whole battle that got separated between him that was on its way to Johnston. So now he's like sitting there waiting with his back against the river, trying to flee back to Vicksburg. Like, do I sit here and wait for this division to catch back up? Do I hope that they go to Johnson? Like, what do I do? And while he's waiting, Grant's going to go ahead and attack. And it doesn't take very long for Pemberton to have to flee across the river in disarray, but they are able to burn the bridges, temporarily slowing down Grant. They're going to lose an additional 1,700 more men being captured by Grant, with an unknown killed or wounded, because again, we're the Confederates, and we don't report numbers.
Well, accurate.
Grant's going to lose...
They reported numbers.
Yeah, they reported 1,700-ish being missing. Yeah, they definitely did. During that battle there with the Big Black River, Grant's going to lose about 39 men killed and 237 wounded. Banks is going to move his troops to Port Hudson to go after the other last stronghold on the Mississippi. So the last 2 bits of remaining Confederate, Vicksburg, Port Hudson, they're now both being attacked simultaneously.
Okay.
Good.
Yes.
And Johnny, it's almost the moment that we have all been waiting for. On the 18th, Grant's long campaign is reaching its very slow conclusion. His army is now across the Big Black River. He has began his siege of Vicksburg. Vicksburg is beginning to be surrounded by Union glue. Johnson is going to order Pemberton to withdraw from the city and try to save his army, but it's too late. Pemberton is basically having to dig in. He doesn't really have that great of a room to escape. And Pemberton's thought here is probably more along the lines of Traitor President Davis, like, if we lose the city, we lose the Mississippi. We can't really lose the city. I'm just going to dig in and hope for reinforcements. Which you can't really blame Pemberton for that. Like, I know you want to save the army, but at this point, really, Johnson should be trying his best to get to Vicksburg, to reinforce Vicksburg, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
So we've got a siege on our hands
Don't
now,
be a
Johnny.
traitor. Surrender.
Yeah, surrender. Don't be a traitor. Surrender. Traitor President Davis has now issued out a general order to the entire population of anybody around Vicksburg that if you are able to hold a gun, please grab that gun and go and join up with Johnson's army to defend Vicksburg. Go shoot some people. If you have a gun, you can shoot that gun. Go shoot it. Women, children, adults.
Doesn't matter.
Even a trained mule doesn't matter. If you can shoot a gun,
sure. Yeah,
go shoot a gun.
Anything at all. Throw some stuff at the troops if you can. I don't know.
Anything that you can do to help. On the 19th, Grant has his Vicksburg completely surrounded at this point, and orders an all-out assault on all fronts, hoping a quick end to this battle, and then loses 1,000 men. Yeah, he does, but then he quickly loses 1,000 men because those defenses are actually pretty stout, and went, shit.
It turns out it's kind of easy just to sit somewhere and
it turns out that it's a lot easier than
at people charging at you.
Yeah, take that, yeah. Yeah. So he does call in his mortars from the Yazoo River, and they begin shelling the city instead on the night of the 19th.
That's how you do it. Come on, man. Have you learned nothing?
Just starve them out, shoot them. It doesn't matter. Like, we're not in any... I mean, it's a hurry to end the war, but we're not in, like, a hurry to end the war.
Is it? Because it hasn't seemed like it.
It hasn't seemed like it so far,
For the past 3 years, 2.5 years?
Two and a half. We're like 2.5 in now, I think.
Golly.
Yeah. God, we've been week-to-week coverage. We're like 140 weeks in now, I think, or close to it, or 130 something.
Delirious.
It's 130 something weeks in. Anyways, Secretary of War Stanton, at the direction of Lincoln, is going to direct that former Ohio Congressman Clement Vallandigham, the guy who got arrested last week, of aiding Confederates, he's going to be removed from any military lines of the United States to never return under threat of arrest. So basically, they're releasing him back out into the public, but you can go to Canada or you can go down south to where you wanted to be to begin with. You choose, but if you're anywhere else, you're going to be arrested and then go to jail. So you are being deported
well, that was nice of him, I think.
From the U.S. Go figure it out, buddy. On the 20th, we're going to see 4 blockade runners from Nassau try to sneak through the Union lines. 2 will successfully get through, but 2 are also going to be captured. So win-lose, 50-50. 50-50 is not bad. I mean,
I don't know. I feel
better,
like if you get some of it, then that's a win.
Some of
it's
good. Some of it's a win. Yeah, it's a win.
Stopping supplies.
Stopping some supplies is better than stopping no supplies. So it's a win-win.
Exactly.
And Johnny, this very eventful Bloody Week is going to come to an end on the 21st with Banks's forces encircling Port Hudson and beginning their siege. So we now have the last 2 remaining strongholds on the Mississippi of Confederate troops completely surrounded by Union troops. It is only a matter of time before the Mississippi is ours, cutting the South in half, thus ending any... at that point, when the Union controls the Mississippi...
Game over, right?
Game should be over. The South will have no ability to continue this war. Their supplies are going to be cut even in half.
Well,
they should just stop. Any logical person would stop.
Though.
Yeah, you're probably right. Grant is going to make preparations for a second assault on Vicksburg, but we're going to have to wait till next week to see if that assault is successful and if Vicksburg is ours. That's it for this week in Civil War in Hindsight. If you enjoyed Civil War in Hindsight, check out Historic Hindsight. We talk about all kinds of fun things, like how a bunch of drunken GIs took over a county courthouse when they suspected election fraud, and surprisingly, there was election fraud.